This emergency management and response plan is designed to protect employees, property, and cyber data against potential disasters. It provides emergency response and recovery guidelines for a number of scenarios, as well as contingency planning for continuity of operations, crisis communication, and preservation of the agency's information system. If a natural disaster or emergency occurred during the day, many of us would be at work, away from our homes and families. As a business owner or an agency manager, it is critically important to have an emergency plan in place for your employees and people supported by your agency, and to protect your operations in general should a disaster occur. In Southwest Alabama, hurricanes, tornadoes, and floods can happen at any time. Your safety, as well as the safety of your employees, customers, and others, depend on how you prepare. By planning and practicing what to do will help your employees know how to respond when a disaster occurs.
Being on the coast is very important as a company that you are prepared in the event of a tropical storm or a hurricane, that you have a plan in place that you can implement, and you'll know where to go and what you need to do and who needs to be in charge of different things, and just be prepared, because we are on the coast and we know we're going to have hurricanes. After the hurricane, I recommend that you have a system of communication with your employees in case, if the building is up and running, then you don't have such a problem. But if the building is not available to your employees, was damaged due to a storm or hurricane, then I recommend that you implement a remote program, like hopefully the telephones will be working, the cell towers were not blown away, and you have internet connection. That's another thing that's very important. So beforehand, I would make sure that my employees have a plan B, which is laptops, hotspot equipment that they can communicate, and you as the CEO will know how to reach your employees and give them guidance what they're supposed to do.
In regard to tornadoes, one of the most important things you can do is have a plan and practice that plan. Make sure you know where you're going to go in the event of tornadic activity. Flying debris is prevalent in tornadoes. If your roof is compromised, your walls are compromised, your windows are compromised, everything is going to be whirling around. You want to make sure that your person is protected as much as possible. The announcement on the radio or the television may be very fast, so you've got to make those decisions and move very quickly. Things that you can do in advance so that is easier is to talk about it and have a thought about, where will I go? What do I need to get out of the way of in my space? What do I need to put around me that can barricade other flying debris from me, so that you are safe. A smart idea for tornado preparedness is to practice your plan. Have that plan in place, but also practice it numerous times. It may feel silly at the time to do that, but it's very smart, because then in the event of that very quick emergency, your need for a very fast decision process and response process, you know what to do, and you feel confident that you've done everything that you can to protect yourself and your property.
In the event of a fire at your business, my best piece of advice is to get out. Dial 911. Now, you do have fire extinguishers in your location. If you are trained and you feel like you can snuff the fire out before it gets out of hand, use your training. Your fire department, your local fire marshal, they can come and help you train. In Jackson, Alabama, we offer that training to several businesses, And we are happy to do that with anyone that has that. But my best piece of advice is please get out. We train constantly on fire entry, extinguishing fires. We have the equipment, we have the manpower. We will be there within just a few minutes to extinguish the fire. Our mission, always as a fire service, is the preservation of life, then the preservation of the environment, and ultimately the preservation of property. Nothing's more important than your life. So get out and call 911. Now, a lot of businesses will have a fire warden or a designated person, and that person's job is to get everyone out of the building. Now, once again, that's a visual. We do not expect the fire warden or the designated response captain to do a search such as we would do. However, there should be a rally point outside. Everyone should report to that rally point. Then the designated person should report to the on-scene fire chief or the chief of operations to let everyone know that the building is clear. It's so important to have a proper head count and have that reported to the chief or the first person on scene. Say, hey, everyone's out of the building. We're safe. Because if not, then it's the responsibility of the firefighters to go in and do a search and rescue. And that puts considerable time. If there is someone inside, smoke will kill you before the fire. And so we would enter the building, we would do our search, hopefully we would be able to find someone. And you do that without the use of the traditional fire hose. You do that on your hands and knees using an axe with a partner, and you try to comb the entire building to try and find if there is indeed a victim. So head count is so important. Please, 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 I can't stress that enough, to get a proper head count before the fire units arrive.
In our area, we are prone to flooding. It is good to have a plan in place, whether you have the ability due to the weather to see that inclement weather coming to you in advance, or in the case of a flash flood where you don't have a lot of time to prepare. You want to elevate as much in your office, home, your space as you can in the event of a flood, so that in the case of rising waters, things are not floating around. Electrical things that might be plugged in don't cause damage to that unit itself, and then also cause further damage to your place, your office, your home, whatever environment it is that you're in. The biggest thing really is having that plan in place, the awareness of what possibilities could be coming to you. In a flash flood, you just don't have a lot of notification. So you want to have some forethought into that scenario. What does it look like if that happens to me very quickly? And what's the outcome when I leave this place? If I have to leave hurriedly, if I have to evacuate for the safety, my safety and safety of others around me. And then also be hyper vigilant about trespassing roads that are fully covered in water, because you just don't know what's underneath them. Even if it's a road that you have traveled before, damage can occur to that surface in the flood or a flash flood.
Thank you for participating in United Way of Southwest Alabama's disaster preparedness training. The completion of this project was sponsored by our good neighbors at State Farm. If you have any additional questions, please contact United Way of Southwest Alabama at 251-433-3624.